Hello and welcome to the Modern Endpoint Management OC talk here. I have Tobias on the call. Hello, Tobias.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to meet you. So I'm looking forward for this interview.
Me too.
So Tobias, let's get started. Let's have your name and age and personal status and where do you live?
Yeah, so my name is Tobias Almén. I am 29, pushing 30. So this February, it's the big day, going over the edge. I live with my girlfriend and 2 cats right on the plains outside of Linköping, Sweden. So yeah, there is nothing around for miles. So when the wind picks up, it really picks up. It can be fun sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful in the summer when you have the view and it's completely open. But yeah, during autumn and winter, it can become not so fun.
No, but you're Swede, so I guess that you are familiar with cold and snow and stuff like that, right?
Of course, we're used to it.
Yeah,
We have it
yeah,
9
yeah,
months a year, so yeah.
yeah. So do you ski?
I've been on skis 1 time in my life.
Okay.
My butt has never hurt so hard from skiing after 1 week. I mean, absolutely. I fell down 50 times.
I guess it's alpine then. Alpine
Yeah,
skiing. Yeah.
first and only time.
Okay. Yeah. I just yeah, see, I see Sweden for me, and it's like, okay, the Olympics, they are skiers. So
Yeah, but I
yeah,
mean, we always lose to Norway, so
not always, but often,
very often.
very often. Yeah. Okay, Tobias, you're a young one, and that means you have not been in the business as long as some of the other OCs. But how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business for around 10 years. So started out in first, second line support, as most do. And then I started working with MDM for 6 or 7 years ago now. So that's when I switched to being a consultant. So I was first, second line support for 3 years, and then switched to consultant and started with MDM right off the bat.
Okay, nice.
So I've been working with it since we thought it was really cool that we could configure email on the devices. Basically the only thing we could do, but it was so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I guess some of the breakers here was actually Apple, right, with their iPhone.
Yeah, it really was.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to find at that time. It was really hard to find a system which could actually configure email on Android devices. Not all of them supported the Samsung APIs and everything that you needed at that time.
Yeah. So yeah, 10 years. That's you started as 20 years old, 19 years old, something around that.
Yeah, something around that. I think 18, 19.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, that's cool. That sounds like about the age I started as well. So Tobias, when you're not skiing, what do you do in your spare time then?
So my absolute favorite thing to do in my spare time is motorcycle riding. So I got my license 3 years ago now. And yeah, just been on the bike as much as possible since then. It's so nice, really clears the head. Getting out on the road and thinking about absolutely nothing and just driving. That's, yeah.
So are you the type that is a cruiser, or are you more like high speed and danger?
Something in between. It's naked street bike.
Okay.
Not the really fast ones, and it's not a cruiser. It's something in between.
So it's
Going
not
out
a
on a country
Kawasaki
road.
Ninja.
No.
No.
I think I would kill myself in a week after having that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna take that risk.
No. So the reason why I ask, I've seen some car chases in Sweden, in Stockholm. There's some videos on YouTube, and but no, please don't do danger like that. It's crazy to look at. But nice.
Yeah.
Do you do anything other than biking? Sounds nice.
Other than biking, it's fixing around the house, just building things, renovating. As I live in the countryside and have a house, it's a lot of fixing all the time. But it's something I find fun to do as well. Do something with your hands, actually, physical work.
Yeah.
It's when something breaks, it's not fun, but if it is something that you want to do, renovate a room or something, then it can be really fun to do.
Yeah. Closing down the water or something like that's never fun. But
No.
yeah, housework, you can see what you do, and it's not like IT and it's put into some computer and then you close down that and you can't see whatever you did. So yeah, I can understand why that is fun. So Tobias, you work at a company currently, and what company is that?
So I work for Cygate in Sweden, and it's a company which is part of Telia company. It's one of the bigger carriers in the Nordics and Baltics region. So we are the consultancy division of Telia, basically.
So actually the same as Niklas.
Yes, Niklas is my colleague.
But he's in Malmö, and
Yes.
that's far from Linköping.
I think it's, what is it? Is it 4-hour drive, something like that?
On your bike or on a regular car?
Well, on my bike is 5 hours. I take it slow.
Okay.
But yeah, regular car, it's around 4 hours.
Yeah. I know the cars and I guess the bicycle as well is much cheaper than in Denmark, because we have so high taxes. It's unbelievable. It's like 150%.
Yeah, and I switched to an electrical car when I started at Cygate, and they're not cheap.
No, they are cheap in Denmark because the tax is lower on electrical cars, because they want to have a greener environment. So they push, for hybrids cars and electrical cars like Teslas. So we see a lot of cars changing in the Danish infrastructure here. So okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that the electrical car was expensive in Sweden, but
It's I think it's especially since it's a company car. So they increased the taxes for you as a person if you have a company car.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite a lot more expensive per year now to own it, or not own it, but having it as a company car.
So tell me one thing: is it a Volvo?
It's a Polestar.
It's a Polestar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I guess
basically a Volvo.
Okay. So I was saying a Chinese freezer. Polestar, isn't that Chinese?
You could say that as well.
Okay. Yeah, that fits well in a car factory, I believe.
It's 99% Chinese.
Yeah. That's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. So you work at Cygates, and we've just been through a pandemic, and it's still out there. But have you been working from home these past 1.5 year, or how was your work schedule?
Yeah, actually been working from home even since before I started working for Cygate. And this December, I worked for Cygate for 1 year. So I am in the office on and off, but primarily I'm working from home. So I think in total, I would say I've been working from home for 2.5, 3 years, maybe.
Okay. That's I think the thing that is nice about working from home is that you don't have that that time going to work and going back. At least if you're going into the city, you will have some traffic there. You'll lose a lot of time, right? So
yeah, I mean the commute time it's not that fun.
no.
I used to drive to Stockholm 3 times a week before, so commuting to Stockholm and back to Linköping. So
that's a
4
drive.
hours commute per day,
Yeah.
not including traffic.
That's far. In the US, that's nothing, but for our Nordic countries, that's a very, very long commute.
Yeah, and it's not a fun road either.
No, it's not, and I guess the fines in Sweden are pretty high if you go too fast.
I think not too long ago I went 10 kilometers over. That was, I don't remember exactly, but maybe 2,000 crowns, something like that.
Then you shouldn't have gone to work that day.
It's not cheap.
No. Okay. So how many hours would you say that you spent on work? If you if you take work and you also take like blogging and read blogs and make yourself more clever on some topics, how many hours do you put in a week?
I would say, I mean, normally a normal day, it's 8 hours for the customers. If it's not like yesterday, where it ended up being 9 or 10 hours. But after that, I usually, sit down, read articles, read blogs, or blog on my own. And that usually takes maybe 3-4 hours per day as well. So yeah, 13, 14 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
There's always something fun to read up on.
Yeah, and there's always some topic that you haven't touched upon, right? And you just want to test that, and you just want to test that, and oh, there's also this solution I need to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
And if it's something I find interesting, I get really stuck in it. I just can't drop it.
But that's also a quality. So I guess digging further in on the solution and find out what's in it and understand it. Yeah. So Tobias, when did you become a OC for the endpoint management group?
Let's hope I don't get this wrong, but June this year.
Oh.
So
Give and take. Give and take.
So still quite new.
Yeah. And Angel, he reached out to you, and how made that you feel?
I mean, when you get the message, it's it's a token of appreciation for the content that you create and content that you give to the community. And of course, that is always a good feeling when you know that the things you are creating to help people is appreciated. So yeah, warm feeling getting that message from Angel.
Yeah. I think when you put a lot of hours into something that you not directly get money for, and you get recognized this way, I mean, it means a lot. So that like or that response to your blog, it means a lot, right?
Yeah, every interaction you have with people, actually benefiting from the content, it's always an extra push to give more.
Exactly. And yeah, good thoughts. So what do you think of the group so far?
I think it's an amazing group. We have so much people now. What are we up to? 15,000. Yeah. And we have some of the best people in the space. We have you. We have a lot of MVPs. My colleagues. So it's a really good community and a really helpful one at that.
Yeah, one of the keys is helpfulness, right? I see a lot of people writing in there, and they get response and help on the topics that they actually need help for.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's if I miss something, I can get a message from Angel asking me, hey, can you have a look at this? So Angel is really involved in this community as well.
Yeah,
I think that is one of the key things.
I believe so too, because having a community that is unmanaged, like nobody's watching over the content here, it has a it becomes dead maybe, and then there's no one that says, okay, we need to have responses for this, otherwise people won't come and see and get help or seek help another time. So I think Angel, he's doing a very good job on commenting the blog post we do and actually dragging people in if he can see, okay, this is something Tobias maybe could ask or be helpful with. So let's ask him and get him involved. So I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So next question is kind of a counter. So if this group was not here, where would you go and seek that information? What did you do before this group?
I think personally, mainly Twitter. The Microsoft community is really active on Twitter. So that was probably the main, media I used to interact with people and get information. And then, of course, you have the blogs from the community, from Microsoft and everything. But to actually interact with the community, I think Twitter was the main thing.
Yeah, I like Twitter as well. The thing about Twitter is it's so short messages, so it can be quite hard to get your point out there, right? It needs to be very short and clear.
Yes, you really do have to get to the point.
Yes, and then you don't have space for that tag, and then you go nobody will see it ever if you don't tag it.
That's the most annoying thing. You write your text and then, oh wait, I need a tag.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So great, very great. So Tobias, we haven't talked about what areas you cover, because the other guys, the other OCs, we've been more covering mem stuff. So Intune and all the stuff that goes around Intune. So what do you like to cover?
Mainly, I cover iOS, Android, and Mac OS. So that is the free platforms that I mainly have my focus on. And almost 100%, it's managed in Intune. So that's the main focus. How can we, in the best way possible, have these platforms managed in Intune? And with that, if you look at the Mac OS side of things, you have a really active community, the Mac admins, and they put out a lot of great tools for you to use. Okay. So it's not, it's not tied specifically to Intune features, but it can be third-party community tools integrated using Intune, so you can improve the management of the platforms you have. And I think, I've been on a Monkey frenzy lately. It's something that's really fun to work with, and you get so much benefit out of using it because the application management for Macs and Intune, it's,
You can say it. You can say it.
It's, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Let's put in a beep.
Yeah, we'll put in a beep. Okay.
But it's when you really dig into this and you integrate Azure together with Intune, together with the third-party tools, and you get the complete solution. It's something that is really fun to build and gives a lot of value for both admins and users. So but back to the question. So mainly iOS, Mac OS, Android, managed in MEM.
Okay. So now you talk about MEM, but is there also other tools that you use? What about Jamf, for example? I've heard a lot of Jamf should be the best tooling for Mac OS and iOS, for example.
Yes, Jamf is extremely good when you look at Mac OS management. I don't think you can beat it. And I have worked with Jamf. I have certified myself on Jamf. I don't have any active customer cases right now, but I do want to dig deeper into Jamf as well, especially since you can integrate Jamf with Intune. So you can get value there as well. So you can have best-in-class macOS management, and you can have Intune.
Yeah, that sounds expensive in licensing.
It's not the cheapest product, but it's good.
Yeah, I have a lot of customers that has bought a Microsoft E3 license, and then they say, okay, we would like to look at all the features that we can get from this license, and maybe they have another MDM system for their mobile devices, and they see, okay, this is part of our license, so maybe we go down a feature or two for now. I mean, Intune has really increased on that part. But the real deal here is when you do the shifts, it's rather irritating, right, for the users, because it's there every day, and you resetting their phone because it's depth and all these kind of things you have to do with their phones. Nobody is going to shout, "Yay!"
Working with phones is a touchy-feely subject. Because end users see them as personal things. They have their personal data on the phones. Migration projects and phones registered to DEP or KME or Zero Touch or whatever. Always a fun topic to work with.
Yeah, it is. So, okay, nice to know. So you're all about the mobile, what the MDM is really about, the mobile devices.
Yes, where I started and where I still am today.
Yeah. So if just a question about Jamf and Intune. So if you have those two products and you would integrate them, what would the benefit be? Would that be for having compliance signals, or what do we get from that?
Yes. So the main benefit you do get is you get the compliance state into Intune, so that you can use conditional access policies and require compliant devices before they can access data. So that is the main benefit of integrating the two. And this integration is available to more solutions than just Jamf. It's available to Workspace ONE and Mobile Iron. So Microsoft has opened up this API.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's actually that's where I started with Workspace ONE, or AirWatch as it was called at the time. So I worked 100% for 5 years with that.
Nice.
Before the switch to Intune.
Yeah, I also worked with a product called Lightspeed.
Ooh, never heard of it.
Never? No? Well, we have Danish customers with Lightspeed. And once I migrated them, they say, "Oh man, it's so user friendly. They really like Intune." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's user friendly." And now you have your management of your Windows devices and your iOS devices and your iPad OS in the same console. And it's the same way that it works. You have the configuration profiles, you have I really like that they integrated into one console.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you get all of these things in this one console. So when you achieve that, that's euphoria.
So one more question about these dear mobile devices. So what about malware stuff? I on my iOS device, I don't carry around with a McAfee or Defender or anything like that. Would you do that on Androids, or I've never owned a Android device?
So sorry, take that again. For Android devices, would I?
Yeah. Would I put on some anti-malware system like McAfee or Defender Suite or something like that?
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have mobile threat defense in place. Even though even on Android, it's less common today that you get the applications with malicious code. You have Google Play Protect, and you have all of these things like verifying the applications. But yeah, it can happen. So I would advise to use mobile threat defense, but mainly maybe for phishing. That's one of the main targets we have today. That's phishing on mobile devices. So yes, I would say to anybody, use Defender or use Lookout or what you have available to protect your users on your phones as well. Most companies actually, they forget about it. They have all of these systems and everything in place for Windows and for macOS, but there's nothing in place for iOS and Android.
No. And the weakest link? Yeah, there we have it. Users.
Yes. So if you haven't, start looking at it.
Yeah. So if you have an E3 license, Microsoft E3 license, is there actually anything in that you could leverage? Because on Windows devices now we get the P1 of the Defender, Defender for endpoints, but I am not aware if that also carries over to phones.
I don't remember exactly, but I think they did a change for licensing on mobile as well. I'm terrible at licensing.
Oh, I am too. That's a circus.
Yeah. But I think there was a change to it, that you could get something out of E3 for phones as well.
But is there a add-on that you put on to customers if you have this phishing extra safety for these mobile phones, or is it just another product that you buy?
If you are in the Microsoft sphere, you can push Microsoft Defender for both Android and iOS, and you have phishing protection using that.
Yeah.
And on Android, you also have malicious application protection. So, it scans the applications that you have on your device.
That's nice.
Yeah, so you get malicious code prevention and phishing as well on Android.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't heard about that on iOS, but that's maybe because they are so tightly in the control of their apps. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't see the big benefit on iOS, mainly for Android, scanning the applications. Of course, it can happen on iOS, but it's rare.
It's rare, yeah. I haven't seen it, but again, it's software. It can happen.
Yeah.
So Tobias, this made me more clever on mobile devices. So thank you for that. Hope for the viewers as well. Yeah, it's very, 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 very nice. So if you have to name like 3 publications that make you the proudest, what would you tell us about that?
I think this is a tough one, picking out the favorites.
You're not the first saying that.
The posts I like the most is the post where I can be the most creative. And what I mean by that is mainly, building something. So I have one post, which is a Power app called Intune Notifications, where you as an administrator can get details on your environment, what's happening with the VPP tokens, the DEP tokens, is it syncing, what is connected where, which accounts are used. It's a Power app connected with Power Flows to get the information and display it. I think that is something that was really fun to build. So that's one of them.
Yeah, I saw that post and I was impressed. So the VPP, just for the users to understand, what is that?
So volume purchase program from Apple, where you can buy licenses for applications and own them as a company, and revoke licenses from users if they should leave the company.
Yeah, sounds like a great scenario or useful scenario.
It's really useful, and applications can be installed silently, so you don't even have to use an Apple ID.
Ah, that's nice.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Makes the onboarding process really beautiful on iOS devices and Mac OS for that matter as well.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So is there maybe something that you want to show on, maybe a little demo or something?
Yes, so my plan was that we can actually do a demo on the auto PKG post I did not too long ago. So what this is auto PKG is basically a way to automate the application packaging and updating for macOS devices. So, the normal flow, you download the application, you get it into Intune or Monkey or whatever you use. You change the scripts, you change the icons or whatever it may be. So AutoPKG's goal is to do all of this automatically for you using recipes. So if everything goes according to plan, all I should have to do is to create a recipe on my device, push that to my Azure Devops account, where I have a repository where all of my recipes are housed. When I do this push, a pipeline in Azure Devops will run, and it will go ahead and download this application, put all of the parameters for Monkey to the application, upload it to my Monkey repository. When that happens, another pipeline runs automatically. So because I'm committing to the main branch on that repository, it is automatically pushing the application to Azure storage, which my Mac devices are connecting to get the applications. So it's all an automated flow to get the application, to publish the application, everything.
Wow. What a flow, I mean. So these applications, they go to a Azure Blob Storage and not to the app management in Intune?
Exactly. So since I am using Monkey to manage my applications for Mac devices, I do publish them to Azure Storage, where the Macs connect to download and install applications. So they're not uploaded to Intune, but they're uploaded to Azure.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds like a good solution around.
Yeah, and beautiful part around it is that since you can run this pipeline on a schedule, it will automatically go ahead and find updates to the application and publish the updates as well. So you won't have to look around, is there a new update for Firefox or Chrome or whatever? The pipeline will do that for you and upload the application as well.
So is this actually also a kind of third-party patching for your Mac devices?
Yes, so this is a third-party created tool, like Monkey is. So this is all done by the Mac community.
Wow.
So yeah, open source, free to use. Go ahead.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see if I am able to share the correct screen.
Yeah. If you have a lot of them, then that's.
I have 3 at the moment, and then an iPad as a 4th screen. Just to make it interesting.
Yes, of course. Is it a Pro or what type of iPad is that?
Yeah, it's an older iPad Pro.
So it's a very large one.
No, the small one.
Okay.
I just saw, the releases of M1 Max and everything, and I really want one.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's pretty expensive, right? And with all these this crazy market and all these resources they can't find, the prices have been going up and up and up.
Yeah, and since I have 3 screens, the only way you can get native support for 3 external screens is to buy the M1 Max. And that is, 42,000 Swedish crowns.
Ouch.
So yeah, I doubt I'll get that soon.
You tell your boss at Cygate you want one.
Yeah, I really need one.
Yes.
Oh, can we see the screen?
We can see the screen. Yes.
Fantastic. So the first thing, so this is already prepared for Git. So I've added my repository on my device and configured everything that needs to be configured to use Git in the terminal. So what I'm going to do is to create a recipe we'll choose Firefox for this. Create that locally on my device, and then push this to my Azure Devops repository. All we have to do to actually create an override recipe on my device is to go ahead and type auto pkg make override firefox.monkey.recipe.
And that recipe exists on your device, or was that on your Azure?
So this recipe is downloaded from AutoPKG's recipe repository. So you have one which is from AutoPKG, and you have a bunch of repositories which are from community members or other vendors as well. There is a large number of recipes that you can use. And since they are prepared for Monkey, so you can see it's called monkey.recipe. And if we look inside this recipe, you can see some PKG info keys. So here we have parameters which will be used in Monkey when we publish this package. We can see that it will be added to the testing catalog, for example, so that we don't import all new updates and packages to the production catalog and push everything automatically to everyone. So this, it gives us some level of control so that we can actually test this internally before we push it to the users. And these, you can change all of these if you want to. These are all things you can edit. So if I do not want to add Firefox to an apps subfolder, I can just go ahead and delete that.
Okay.
But we'll leave the default for now, so we can see how it looks in the repo when it's added. So we've just added the recipe to our local repository. So next thing we have to do is commit this and push it to our Azure Devops repo. So for this, I will just go ahead and add every change made in my local repository. Create a new commit. Add Firefox. We can see one file changed, and it's Firefox. And we can then go ahead and push this to our main branch. And the password. At least I'm protected.
Yeah, at least it's protected. I mean, if you could push it without.
Can't. I did not go ahead and pull the changes from the repo. Okay, so I did not go ahead and pull the changes which was made in the Azure Devops repository. So I could not push a new version before I did that.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I had to pull it down. So Firefox disappeared. So we have to create it again.
Yeah. I guess that's for not having a mismatch when you push.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure when you're working with Git, always do a pull first. Cool. We have our Firefox Monkey recipe again. So let's create a new commit. And now we should be able to push it. Beautiful.
Yay!
It worked.
And it was fast.
Yeah, small files, 2 kilobytes.
Yeah, okay.
The real stuff happens in Azure Devops. So if we go ahead and update to check our repository, we can see that Firefox was added. And our auto PKG pipeline has kicked off. So this pipeline will now go ahead and it uses a hosted macOS agent. So we're using macOS because we want to run Monkey and auto PKG in the command line. So we can actually download the application, use the recipe we created, and add it to our Monkey repository. So when we are at the run auto PKG step, that's where we use the recipes and we download the application and add them to our Monkey repository. This, depending on how big the application is, this can take up to, for me, it takes 2 minutes because I don't have too many applications right now. But if you have quite big applications, then it can take some time.
I could imagine. So this is basically making your app available. So from
yes, so this pipeline is basically downloading the application and preparing it for use with Monkey. And we'll see when this pipeline finishes that we will have a new branch created for our Monkey repository. So I don't push this to the main branch because I as an administrator want some level of control when new versions or new applications are pushed.
Yeah.
So I have to merge the changes to the main branch before they are actually added to Monkey. Here we can see
you have a DMG.
Yeah. So it downloaded the Firefox version 93 DMG. In this flow, I also use an integration to VirusTotal. So the package is uploaded to VirusTotal, scanned, and if we get any warnings from VirusTotal, then it won't upload the package. It will skip it. Of course.
That's great.
Yeah,
Azure storage has been encrypted.
Yeah.
Pay bitcoins.
Everyone's Azure storage encrypted.
Thank you, Monkey.
So the pipeline finished, and if everything went according to plan, I should have a message in Teams if something went wrong. Yeah, sure.
That's a blue screen for Teams.
A blue screen. Yay.
Yay.
But yeah, so we can see here that Firefox was actually imported, and it was to our testing catalog. And we can see the package path and the PKG info path. So these are Monkey specific configurations. And just to make it easier for myself, I added a create pull request button to the webhook.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to go into Azure Devops, find a repo, find the branch, and do everything manually. So everything I have to do is click create pull request. I'm taken to Azure Devops. It automatically finds the branch for the application. Title, description, everything is prepared. So I just have to create it. And then complete the pull request. So now the changes are merged to the main branch. And when that happens, the Monkey pipeline kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
So this pipeline will now upload everything or synchronize everything I have in my repository here for Monkey to Azure storage.
Nice.
And if we look in the repository under PKGs, we can see that we have Firefox 93. So there's the GMG, and under PKG info, we have Firefox 93 plist. So here they are.
Nice. And the plist, it looked like the recipe. Was
So
that
it's if we can go back,
a lot of commands?
we have this is all the information we have about the application. So we can see the bundle identifier, the bundle name, the version. So everything related to Firefox. And here you can say if it's uninstallable or not. So the user in this case cannot uninstall this.
Okay.
And these are all things that you can configure for the applications using Monkey admin as well. So you can have an application on your Mac. So you can get a UI to customize how you want your applications to be deployed.
Wow.
Yeah, the Monkey pipeline finished successfully as well. So if we go back to Azure Storage, where we have the Monkey repository for the Macs, Firefox is now available. So,
Success.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This would, a Mac would now be able to get this package if they are part of the testing catalog, which we push to. And if, let's say Firefox 93.2 is released, then this will automatically pull down that package, create the branches, everything uploaded for you. All you have to do is to merge the request to the main branch.
That's very cool.
So yeah, automated flow.
From doing that merge, it looks very easy. So the one who is getting that message in Teams, is that the IT admin or is that the boss? Who's going to click that button?
So this can be, whoever you want it to be. You can have your operations team merging requests, or you as the Mac admin, maybe you have to actually approve the merge. But operations can make sure that applications are created using AutoPKGs, they can create the recipes, push them up, but you as the Mac admin has to approve the merge request to the main branch. So this is all, you can set this up how you want to using permissions in Azure Devops. So you can get that full DevOps flow. And I think that's, I've been really into DevOps lately. I don't know why, it's so interesting to me.
Yeah. I think DevOps can do many things. I used DevOps at the time for Agile framework and Scrum. Yeah. So it can definitely be used for many things. And I also know a company that have a MDM as code on DevOps engine, which just sync tenants. It's quite nice what DevOps actually can do for you.
Yeah, you can do so much automation. I'm just starting to look at how we could use DevOps to, if we have a dev environment of MEM, to pull configurations from that environment and push them to the production environment.
Yeah.
So you do all the work in dev, you push a button, and pipelines takes care of this. It automatically pushes the changes to production. So you get this continuous delivery.
You should have a look at Siemens Cloud.
Yeah, absolutely.
They actually do exactly that. Yeah. So you can have one dev tenant, and then you can have all the tenants you like, and that can sync apps and configurations, and they also have their own standards saying, okay, you should have these conditional access rules, etc., etc., etc. So
yeah, so they have the baseline.
That could be some inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. Have to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have it running in my tenant because I had a meeting with them. They are overseas in the US, so I think it's a quite nice tool. Tobias, this was awesome. Wow. What it's like mind blowing. I can't get my head around all these monkey stuff and Mac OS, and it's just another world for me. I mean, I'm like, okay, it's not possible for me to replicate anything about that. It's like if I have to manage a Mac one day, I'll call you at a second. Tobias, I have an assignment for you.
Sounds good.
So Tobias, any tips or tricks that you want to pass on to the viewers?
Well, if you are like me, managing Mac OS devices, iOS, Android, especially for Mac, there is a really active community. The Mac admins Slack, you can find a channel for whatever you want to find out about. Monterey updates, issues, what's coming, what's happening. It's a really active and good community, and a helpful one. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me or any of the OCs on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. We are, I would say, always available.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Even when we sleep. Oh, someone needs help.
Almost. It's buzzing. I have to look at it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that was a great tip, and yeah, it's been a very big pleasure to have you on the show, and I really hope it helped a lot of people managing iOS devices and Mac OS devices. Now they have a glitch of how it could be on their application management and the whole automated flow around that.
Yeah,
that is super cool. So Tobias, I just want to thank you for this interview, and let's say goodbye to the viewers. And yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you, Tobias.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.